This is the newest benchtop router table from Sherwood. It has a bunch of new features that I kind of haven't seen in the smaller cabinet routers before. I'm just going to walk through things I like about it, things that I think are interesting. And in another video down the track, we'll talk about how to mount a router into this aluminium base plate. First thing I noticed when I saw this is it's made out of this steel tubing with a dust bag rather than a cabinet, which is the more traditional way of building these. I guess one of the things that does for this particular router table is it makes it a lot lighter, which means it's more portable. It's a really, really sturdy design. In fact, the steel chassis or all of these welded bars are much more solid than some of the little MDF cabinets that these small benchtop units are really built around. So very solid and very light. I mean, this would be an ideal unit for using on a work site. If you had just some smaller parts that you needed to throw a bunch of roundovers on or do some rebates or whatever, and you needed to take a machine to site. So that's really handy. There's often times when I wish I had access to a router table in location for larger builds. So certainly for chippies and other folks, finish carpenters who need to be doing final work on site, really handy to be able to throw it in and out of the van. It has a dust port on the fence as well as on the back, so I'll just swing it around and show you. 62mm or 2.5 inch dust port top and bottom. Obviously, you can get an adapter to fit that to a standard shop vac. A lot of shop vacs come with that size adapter, so you can get good dust extraction even though it's a small unit. You've also got a really handy place to store the cord, which, like, the unit feels like it is designed to be brought to and from a site. Like, it's just designed with that in mind. Each foot has a self-leveler, which means even if you're on an uneven floor or doing it on not an ideal surface, you can get this nice and stable, which makes a huge difference to the work that you're going to be able to do. In terms of the router top itself, the top is made from MDF with a really tough melamine coating. It's scratch resistant. You get a fair bit of wear out of these. The actual insert, which you will mount your router to, is an aluminium plate, same as the larger router tables. This is really nice and flat. It has the lug screws in there to make it perfectly level and even with the tabletop, which means, again, you can get accurate, good, smooth routing. Fully functional fence that is very simple to move. It doesn't have micro adjustment or anything like that, but honestly, I don't think you need it. There's so much micro adjustment you can do just by tapping one end of the fence anyway, that two of these screws like this work perfectly well for most routing applications. This aluminium fence means you can use one of these clear chip guards above the blade if you are so inclined. I don't find myself using these a whole lot, but it is handy for certain applications. You can move the MDF inserts in the fence here to either make space for a larger router bit, give you more access to the extraction if you need it, or close it right off if you have some small parts that you need to run along a continuous fence. Another really cool feature of this tabletop router is it comes with these insert spacer bars. Now what these do is they sit behind one of these melamine fence inserts and push it out by either 1mm or 2mm. They have, so you can run them in this direction, or if you flip them over, then you're running the 2mm instead of the 1mm. This means you can use the router fence in the same way as you would a small jointer. It allows you to pass material over the two fences with a router bit in place, a straight bit, to remove a really small amount of material, either about 1mm or 2mm. Now these just slide in the end. If you need a smaller jointer or you don't have a jointer, this is one way to get a really nice square edge by using your router table. So to put these spacer bars in location, you just loosen off the screws at the back here, which gives you the space to slide these in there and there. And then you tighten this up again, which gives you 1mm difference between this plane and this plane. In terms of putting this thing together, it comes assembled with the top attached to the base. All you'll need to do is attach these mounting plates, which is how you attach the fence. It's very simple, and you need to attach the bag underneath. This unit comes with the aluminium top and these insert plates. If you need more insert plates of different sizes, you can actually buy a kit. There'll be a link down below for which kit that is. It also comes with this centering bushing and a centering pin, which allows you to properly and efficiently mount your router onto this plate. I'm gonna have a separate video on how to do that, and we'll link to that below as soon as that's made. Lastly, all of these accessories are stored in one of 2 bags on either side of the unit. So you've got little Sherwood bag here, stuff can all go in there and zip up. Obviously you can also use that to store router bits or whatever else you need to store in there. Overall, I think this is a lightweight but solid little unit, super useful for the job site. If you only use the router occasionally and you mainly want to store it under the workbench, great unit like that because it's so easy to bring up and down. If you wanted a second router that again would just be dedicated for a certain task, nice, it goes away somewhere small, but it's still really nice and solid. You're not going to get a whole bunch of wobble because you've got these stabilizing legs. It's got a great fence. I think it's a really efficient way of building a nice small router table. So when it comes, we'll have a video on installing a router onto this base, so you can check that out. Let us know if you have any questions.